This is Whipping It Out with Anthony Cumia on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, here's Anthony Cumia.
Hey, it's Anthony Cumia. We're whipping out free speech. And a story that caught my eye, there's a contestant in the Miss America pageant, Miss North Florida. She was the winner of Miss North Florida, Kayleigh Bush. Kayleigh what? She was decrowned. Ouch. Decrowned for refusing to sign the updated contract with transgender policy changes. Kayleigh says, I didn't lose my crown because I broke a rule. I lost the crown because I was unwilling to rewrite the truth. And we see this happening all over the place. Sports primarily. We've watched a lot of sporting events where men who say they're women go in and just dismantle the women that are involved in that sport. And this is a shame because a lot of these women, they've practiced, trained their entire lives to get to a point where they're competing. And some guy decides he's a woman, and a couple of months later, he's in good enough shape to compete and destroy the women in these sports categories. Completely unfair. It's cost a lot of girls college scholarships, and it shouldn't be happening. So when you see a woman standing up for her own beliefs, like Miss Florida here, Kayleigh Bush, and says, "No, I'm not gonna sign this. I don't believe in this. I'm not going to be one of the people that embrace this and pat these people on the back and say, yes, I accept this. You're beautiful and you're as God made you." And you wind up losing to a man. And in a Miss America pageant, just throw away the rule book completely. Because I don't know, sports, obviously, you're going to have a guy who's stronger than women. There are different ways that men are put together, ways that they think mentally that are more advantageous in certain sports than a woman would be. And they will excel at that. I find it hard to believe that the judges at a Miss America pageant are going to look at the man that is with these women and decide that they are the most beautiful out of the lot of 50 of them, I guess. But there are people that will just sign off on it and say, well, yeah, I want to be in the pageant, or I want to do this. I want to be involved in that. So I'll just sign that I accept it all, and I won't say anything bad about the transgender people, and I'll compete with my mouth shut. And you get a few people over the course of the years that are willing to stand up and say, nope, I ain't doing that. I don't believe in it, and I'm not going to be party to this charade. The fact that they want everyone to accept this, it's, first of all, it's just a blatant lie. Secondly, it doesn't jibe with science. And I believe anybody that signs on to support this makes themselves look very stupid, very unintelligent, because we know the truth. There are men and there are women. That's it. That is it. How you deal with being those genders through your life, that can vary. How you want to be a man or how you want to be a woman. You could even call yourself a woman if you're a man. But you are not, in fact, a woman. And that doesn't put the responsibility on everyone else to play along? Who wants to play along with these people that are, as I see it, mentally ill? That's a whole nother part of it. And we saw what happened up in Canada. Another mass shooting perpetrated by a transgender person. And their biggest concern up in Canada doesn't seem to be the victims or how this happened or why it happened. It's please don't misgender the murderer. We don't like the idea that some people are calling this murderer a man, when indeed it is a woman in every way, shape, and form. We have reached a real stupid place in history when people look at it and that's their takeaway from a mass shooting up there in Canada. The head of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police came out and chastised a journalist for having the nerve to say, was he involved in anything that police were aware of? Did this guy have any run-ins with the cops previously? And the Royal Canadian Mounted Policeman was like, oh, hey, that's a woman. That is a woman that was perpetrator of this crime. And then a reporter from Sky News gets in front of a camera and actually says, not many women are responsible for crimes like this. Statistically, not many women engage in crimes like this. And he looked all like thinking about it, like, that's interesting. Yeah, not many women do. And they haven't in this case because it's a man. That was a guy. Don't start thinking that the statistics now have to be looked at again and reassessed because now a woman has joined the ranks of mass shooters. No, it's a guy. And that's the problem. Too many people are playing along with this. And the bottom line is there is mental illness here. There is underlying mental illness here that is exacerbated with medicine, prescription hormone treatment, this ideology, this cultural ideology that these people are wonderful and beautiful. And they play, it's the emperor's new clothes. If you remember that little story when you were a kid, the emperor was naked. And all the people in the kingdom said, oh, the king looks great. Look how awesome his clothes are. Because the tailor was bamboozling the king. And only a child walked up and said, hey, you're naked. Everyone else is playing along with transgender people. And now people are paying with their lives.
Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now is, right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This seems to be an unhappy, angry, violent group of people. And if you look at it statistically, with the amount of people that consider themselves transgender, that are actually living as the opposite gender that they were born, they've racked up quite a statistical superiority when it comes to mass shootings and violence. You look at them at protests and meetings. They're yelling, screaming, unhappy, very angry, and very willing to go hands-on and start getting violent with people. the voice goes down. They start out like, well, I just want to live my life and be happy like any woman. And then if someone goes, woman, like, what are you laughing at? You son of a bitch. I'll kill you. So it's like that the real man comes out when they get angry because they are real men. That's the bottom line here. They're men with a masculine penchant for violence. Men are much more apt to go to violence before women will. And it's an attitude. It's a more competitive attitude with men. They're less willing to compromise, less willing to look at a differing point of view and immediately just go, okay, you're right, I'm wrong. And the anger factor that comes into it, look, women know over the course of the entire existence of human life, women know, a couple of weeks, a week before their period, their hormones go a little crazy. They get a little unbalanced and they will become depressed or angry. And it's not indicative of who they are the rest of the time, the rest of that month or so. What do you think a man goes through when, first of all, they're delusional? They have some mental issues with who they are, what they are. They're frustrated that they aren't in the body that they want to be. They're angry that when they look in a mirror, they don't see the beautiful woman that they want to see. And now you throw hormones in that God knows what it's doing to their mental state, making them angry, violent. And I think that is absolutely what we're seeing, because everyone is just telling them that this is great, this is amazing, this is who you are. And they even know the truth in their own heads, hence the frustration that they put out outwardly as violent tendencies toward other people. And if you look at it or you speak openly about it like I am, you will be labeled transphobic, bigoted. Whatever word they could pull out of their ass, that's what you are now. And that prevents anything from really happening. At the very least, shouldn't we be able to talk about this and look into it and see if it really is a mental health issue that needs to be dealt with because people are being put in danger by these very unhappy, depressed, violent group of people? You can't even look at it. You can't even mention it. They tack phobic on the end of everything. He's homophobic, or he's this, or, transphobic. Transphobic is becoming something that it's fitting. People have a fear, and it's fitting. There should be a fear because you don't know what the hell these people are going to do next. And not all the surgeries or medication or coddling is going to change the fact that that is a very angry, mentally ill man wearing a dress. And if you don't see him that way as a woman, there is a potential that they might bring violence to you and yours. And something's got to be looked at the very least. And, maybe we got to get some bricks, some mortar, and some gargoyles and build some of those oldie time mental institutions again and load them up, because there seems to be a lot of batshit crazy people out there. All right, folks, we'll see you next time. Don't forget my show, Sunday night, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time, right there on 77 WABC Radio in New York. And if you download the app from the App Store, you can listen anywhere on the planet Earth. And we do appreciate that. All right, Anthony Cumia whipping out some free speech. We will see you next time.
Thanks for listening to Whipping It Out with Anthony Cumia. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?